All right, so this is going to be the review and the explanation of the practice AP questions for market disequilibrium. So let's get started. So this question, right, it shows us a downward sloping demand curve, and it asks us that there's a movement between point A and point B. And so what is going to cause this movement from A to B? Well, first of all, right, it's not causing movement, it's not causing the demand curve to shift, right? It's causing movement from point A to point B. So in other words, there has to be a change in price for demand, change in price for our quantity demanded, right? Because here, if there's a change in just demand, our demand curve will be shifting to the right or to the left. And if there's movement along the demand curve, the only thing that can do that is going to be a change in price here. And so here, we just have to look for, well, if the answer choice deals with a shifter of demand, then we know it's not the correct answer. So if you look at choice A, an increase in the price of goods Z, a substitute. Well, we know that a substitute or a complement is going to cause a shift in the demand curve, not cause movement along the demand curve itself. So we know A is not the correct answer. For B, we know consumers' income is going to be an inferior or normal good, right? Which causes movement or which causes a shift. So we know it's not B. Same thing for consumer income here. So we know it's not C, right? And so now we're left with D and E, right? And so here, if you watch the video, right, we'll do this in green. If you're looking at answer choice E, if there's a decrease in supply, that is going to cause price to increase, right? And our quantity to decrease here. Well, if our price increases, then we should move from A to further up the demand curve here, right? So we know it's not E as well. And so the reason why answer choice D is the correct answer is because here, all right, let's do this in purple. There's a decrease in the production cost for good X. Well, if we're looking at production costs, it's not going to impact demand. It's actually going to impact supply, right? It's going to impact the producers. If there's a decrease in production costs, that is going to cause an increase in supply. And whenever there's a increase in supply, it's going to cause our supply curve to shift to the right, which causes our price to decrease and our quantity to increase. And so we don't really care about the quantity in this question. We care about, well, let's look at the price. So price decreases, right? Is that going to cause movement downward or cause movement along the demand curve and cause A to B to go down? Well, the answer is yes. So that's why D is the correct answer here. Number 8. If 1/4 of a nation's wheat crop is destroyed by a flood, then the price in wheat and quantity sold will change in the short run in which of the following ways? Well, here, we first have to determine, is this going to impact supply or demand? Well, here, right, if 1/4 of the nation's wheat crop is destroyed by a flood in a given season, well, it has nothing to really do with consumers, right? Because this question is not telling us if it's going to impact demand or not. So we know it's going to impact producers, which should impact supply. Let's write it out here. So here, is supply going to increase or decrease? Well, if the wheat crop is destroyed, then our supply is going to decrease here. And so yes, we can draw it out, right? Yes, this is our supply, this is our demand, and we could cause a leftward shift in the supply curve and tell us what happens to price and quantity. But remember, an easier way to do this is just to remember the chart. If supply decreases, our price is going to increase and our quantity is going to decrease here. And so now we're just looking for the answer choice that matches with that. Which answer choice tells us that price increases and quantity decreases when supply shifts to the left, when supply decreases? Well, the answer choice here is C. Right. All right, question 22. Which of the following will occur in a competitive market when the price of a good is less than the equilibrium price? So here, let's just graph it out. So this is our price and quantity, our supply and demand, and then this is our equilibrium quantity, and more importantly, this is our equilibrium price. So this question is asking, well, what happens when the price of a good is less than the equilibrium price here? So let's say that the price of the good, right, is right here. Well, what is going to happen? Well, here, if our price is less than our equilibrium price here, is price going to decrease? No, right? It's not going to decrease. And plus, it's not going to create a surplus of goods because at this new price point, our quantity demanded is greater than our quantity supplied, which we know is a shortage. Right? So A is incorrect. For B, is price going to decrease? They got the shortage part right, but is price going to decrease? No, because price is already below our equilibrium price here. So B is incorrect. C, is price going to increase? Well, yeah, price should increase here. But is there a surplus of goods? No, C is incorrect. So D, is price going to increase? Yes. Is it going to get rid of a shortage of goods? Yes. So D is our correct answer here. All right. And then for E, is price going to remain constant? No. Right? So E is also incorrect here. All right. So our last question. Which of the following changes in the supply of and the demand for a good would definitely result in a decrease in both the equilibrium price and quantity of the good here? Okay? So here, right, yet again, just remember our chart. We have our price and quantity. We have demand increase, demand decrease, supply increase, and supply decrease. When demand increases, both price and quantity increase. When demand decreases, both price and quantity decrease. When supply increases, our price decreases, our quantity increases, and the opposite is true for when supply decreases here. So out of all of these, right, if there's a change in both supply and demand, what is going to cause a decrease in both the equilibrium price and quantity of the good here? Okay? So let's look at answer choice A. So when supply increases, right, when supply increases here, we know price, right, is going to decrease and quantity is going to increase. But when demand increases, right, price increases and quantity increases here. And so is it going to result in a decrease in the price and quantity here? No, because our price is indeterminate, so A can't be the right answer. Well, when there's no change in demand, right, so basically our price and quantity isn't going to change for answer choice B. Well, if supply increases, right, does that cause a decrease in the equilibrium price, and a decrease in the equilibrium quantity? Yet again, no, because when supply increases, we see here, our price is going to decrease and our quantity is going to increase. And that's not what the question is asking. The question is asking, what does definitely result in a decrease in both price and quantity of the good here? So basically, if we're going to try to make this easier for us, the answer choice cannot be a supply curve shifting. Because if the supply curve shifts, right, whether it increases or decreases here, it's going to cause either price to increase and quantity decrease, or vice versa. And the question is asking, well, they want a decrease in both price and quantity. So we can automatically really knock off D and E, which leaves us answer choice C as the correct answer here. Right? If supply doesn't change, the price and quantity remain static. But if demand decreases, we know, right, that both price and quantity are going to decrease as well. All right, so that's it. If you guys have any additional questions on any one of these 4 practice AP questions, feel free to send me an email or write a comment below, and I'll be more than happy to answer it. I hope you guys learned a lot, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.